I'm sitting here today with Dr. Delta Bowers, recently retired and getting ready to start a new venture. Can you tell us about your retirement and the little transition you get ready to make?
Okay. I had the opportunity to be a professor at Virginia Union University for 8 years, professor of management and marketing. And not only was I a professor, I served as interim dean for about a year and a half. During that time at the university, created a lot of relationships in the city. One of those individuals who was responsible for helping me create those relationships was Kimberly Gray. Kimberly, I recall her sitting on a panel for one of my first ever B-School boot camps at Virginia Union University, sitting at Lewis School of Business. I brought that concept to the university, and it showcased leaders in the surrounding area as well as alumni and business people. That was one of my highlights at the university. In addition to that being one of my highlights, I also started the Ruth Coase Harris Leadership Institute. Ruth Coase Harris was the first African American female certified public accountant in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And she and her sister were two of the first 100 black female certified public accountants in the country. So those were significant highlights of my career at Virginia Union University. May 15th was my last day there. I'm looking forward to reinvigorating my small business, DRB Associates Consultants, LLC. That business actually has been around for almost 30 years, but when I returned to Richmond in 2010 full-time, I started to look more towards teaching so I could give back some of the knowledge that I gained not only in corporate America, but being a small business owner. And so what DRB and Associates is going to be doing is we're going to be doing strategic planning for organizations, entrepreneur management for those individuals who are entrepreneurs and who desire to be entrepreneurs. We're going to be doing our continuity of operations planning, which is also one of my loves. We're going to be doing events management, organizational leadership, as well as seminars. And I'm going to start a podcast, Life as an Entrepreneur. I'm looking forward to that. My vision is, I like to help people. I like working with people. I like my friend Clyde here. I like to see him. He always has a calming effect on me. And so, and he's a visionary. And so I want to take my skill sets that I've learned over the last 50 years or so, because I started off as an entrepreneur at 10 years old, working for my grandparents and my parents and neighbors in the community, and they actually paid me to go to the store for them. So I am excited about the future beyond Virginia Union. I believe that I have so much more that I want to give in terms of the community in which I live here in the Richmond metropolitan area. And so I want to help people. And so that is what the consulting firm, DRB Associates Consultants, LLC, will do. And I give 100% plus, as I did when I was at Virginia Union University. But and I help students develop business plans, hundreds of business plans and strategic plans. And, I now want to parlay all of that into helping the community at large. There is so much hope for the Richmond metropolitan area. And I want to give myself authentically, because I am concerned about the area in which I live. That 26+% poverty level in Richmond City and 10+% poverty level in Henrico County, it bothers me. And so I want to help people realize the American dream. And I want to help corporations become as successful as they can be. So, my website is www.drbassoc1.com. Again, that's www.drbassoc1.com. And you can always reach out and touch me at drbassoc, the number 2, at gmail.com. I look forward to creating hope where hope is faded. That is my passion, and I am looking forward over the next 20 years enjoying what I truly like to do, and that's helping others succeed. Thank you very much, Clyde.
Now, Dr. Bellows, in this consulting firm, I look at where we are in terms of small business. If you look at the stimulus package, a lot of people who look like you and I did not know how to fill out the paperwork, did not know how to deal with the bank. Would your consulting firm help them understand and put that package together?
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely.
Now,
That is the problem. The problem is a lot of individuals, they either don't want to take the time or they don't understand what is required. And I would be more than happy to sit down and go through that paperwork with these entrepreneurs. And if I have questions, I know how to pick up the phone and make a phone call. It is important to understand. That is a problem, whether it's in the banking industry, whether it's knowing how to fill out the paperwork or complete the applications in banks, or if it's government support, whether it's local, state, or federal. Oftentimes, small business owners don't understand what is required. And frankly, sometimes they may be a little timid about fully completing the application. So absolutely, I'd be more than happy to do that.
tell me a little bit, what about procurement
Absolutely. In terms of winning
contract?
contracts, sure. I could help them complete those requests for proposals. I would be more than happy to do that. Yes.
Now I look at where are, if there are any, diversity programs within the state.
The city of Richmond has a minority business enterprise office. There's a small business administration as well, federal small business administration office here in Richmond. The state of Virginia has a minority division as well. I think it's called the Department of Minority Business Enterprise. It's either in the city or in the state, but it does exist. And speaking of diversity, I am going to be also pursuing a certificate from Cornell University in diversity, and I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be happening towards the end of May. I'm a lifelong learner, and I think it's necessary, considering that I love to interact with folk. I want to be as broad-based as I possibly can in terms of my knowledge base. But in terms of minority firms and small firms, there are different offices locally in the state as well as the federal government that can help these small businesses.
Now I look at, in terms of businesses, if you go back in history, you'll see where black folks
Yes.
had their own.
Yes.
How do you come back now and say, look, this is where we are. How do we get some of these businesses back?
Well,
What's missing?
you know what? Small businesses, they are the economic engine of this country. If you think about it, look at all the small businesses that, for example, needed assistance during this pandemic. Unfortunately, black and brown people didn't get as much of the stimulus package as they should have gotten. But I am inclined to believe, as you have intimated, that it was due to the fact they didn't know how to complete the paperwork. I'm not sure. I don't want to say that, but for some reason they did not get what they could have gotten in support of their small businesses. What I think, the problem with, before integration, there were numerous black businesses because that's all we had. That's what we were required to do, serve each other, because our Caucasian brothers and sisters would not serve us. Whether it was a haircut, whether it was a taxi service, whether or not it was a restaurant, whether or not it was a beauty salon, whether or not it was a convenience store, those small businesses existed before integration. And I would tell you, I believe, for me, I believe integration should have been about equal access, equal rights, equal opportunities. But it should not have been about dividing and conquering and taking away the small black businesses, because that's exactly what it did. When we as black folk had an opportunity to go to other merchants who were non-African Americans, we did that instead of supporting our own small businesses. I think that we have to start believing in each other again. I think we have to trust when we offer products and services that we're going to offer products and services at the same level that our Caucasian brothers and sisters offer. We have to believe that we are offering a fair price for our products and services. For some reason, I believe sometimes we believe that we're getting less than what we should for the same price if a Caucasian vendor or merchant offered the same product or service. So I think it's important. We need to start having these conversations like we're having now. We have to learn how to trust each other again.
If we look at the wave of the future with this pandemic, social distancing, I'm looking at drones. Drones, people getting drone license. This is something that we're not talking about. The kids don't know about it, but it seems as if direct delivery is going to be the wave of the future.
I believe that. I believe that because people are going to be more concerned about their health than anything. I think this whole pandemic has changed the way that we will interact with each other forever. I'm a hugger. I'm a handshaker. I can't hug you, for example. I can't shake your hand because guess what? I don't want to expose you in case somehow or another I've been exposed, and I don't want you to expose me. And I do believe direct delivery will become major. Not only do I think direct delivery will become major, but I think virtual interaction on the whole. I've had so many Zoom meetings, it is unbelievable. I've already had one this morning. I had 2 yesterday. I have Zoom meetings almost every day of the week. I saw an article recently about Zoom. Zoom is now worth more than all the 10 airlines put together. Okay? Zoom is that virtual platform where you can interact with people virtually. And so, and frankly, I think it's great for the environment. I believe virtual work, I've been teleworking for over 30 years. And so it's better for the environment, it's more cost effective, and frankly, I think we work harder when we work virtually. Other folk, in terms of a virtual education, I can remember earning and doing some of my classwork for my doctoral program virtually, as well as my master's degree. And I think I noticed that a lot of people of color were opposed to virtual learning. I'm not sure why, or the virtual platform. They didn't think it was real. And so now, historically black colleges and universities, that's all they can do. Because at this point in time, is engage in virtual learning. Although I think some of the students are opposed to that. And I do believe it's good to have that social experience, but at what cost at this time? Because in the months to come, if you listen to all the experts, the virus is going to be worse, along with the flu. So we're going to have to adapt as human beings to this new reality, and that new reality is virtual interaction, drone deliveries, and perhaps we as black and brown people, we should get involved in some of those things like drone delivery services, buying up some drone stocks, whatever we can to build wealth within our community.
So these are some of the things that we'll be working with in the consulting platform.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
What would you like to say in closing?
I would like to say in closing that My vision for Black and brown people is to live the American dream by any legal means necessary. And that means doing the things required to be successful, whether it's earning your degree, undergraduate degree, whether it's going to a technical school, whether or not it is understanding what your passion is and monetizing that, becoming more information literate, understanding, for example, what you spoke about, what is required to complete documentation such that you can get, for example, grants from the government or contracts or in the case of the stimulus package, so that you can get those grants that you're entitled to. DRB Associates Consultants, LLC will advise you in terms of the path that you should take and also assist you in completing those applications. Would be more than happy to do that. But again, DRB Associates Consultants, LLC is all about building wealth and helping you build wealth.
And for those who want to get in contact with you, how would they do so?
Please do so at DRB ASSOC1 DRB ASSOC1.com or DRB ASSOC2 at gmail.com. And again, I'll repeat that email address, DRB ASSOC2 at gmail.com, or they can give me a call at 703-785-8026. And I'm also on Facebook under Delta Bowers. Again, email me at drbassoc2 at gmail.com. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. It is always a pleasure to see you. You're looking well. I hope you're staying healthy. But, he's about building wealth, and I'm going to help him build wealth as well.
God is good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I got to